What is going on, everyone? So today we are coming at you from indoors because the weather looks kind of crappy the whole week. So figure why not just film indoors, get a little bit better lighting as well. Today we're gonna get our core work. Now typically I would include glute, hip work, shoulder blade work as part of a full body or full core workout. But since we have done upper and lower body workouts covering those areas already, check the links here that come up. We're not going to do those today. We are going to use our long bands. Now I'm going to use all of them that we've shown before. So we got these super stretch, super bands, whatever we're going to call them. We got these thin bands with the handles, and we use the textile bands as well. Now you can do any of the exercises with any of these bands, but I will show some of the exercises with the preferred band style that I have for that specific exercise. Because some will work better than others for certain things. But like I said, you can make it work with any of them. So let's get to it.
For our warm up in this workout, we're just going to go through some spinal movements, getting into some regular flexion extension first to get our position set, and then we're getting into some spinal waves. This one, we're imagining moving one vertebra at a time from one end to the other. After we get that one done, we get into some spinal circles. Imagine your spine like a jump rope with your head being one end, tailbone being the other end, and we just making circles like a jump rope will go around. We are starting our workout with some isolation exercises. The first one here is going to be our bicycle crunch hold. Now, I have a lot of tension here on this band because I was going to provide the resistance. The hands stay right next to the ears to make sure that band tension does not change through the whole exercise. The shoulders are always up off the floor as much as possible, crunching the entire time. Now, when you hold knee to opposite elbow, make those with the exhales as long as you can with the exhales. Inhale as you switch sides, and when you get to the other side, you're still holding with our long exhales. Our second exercise here is just a side plank with a pull down motion. When you get into side planks, get used to doing them with the top leg forward because that's going to provide a better position for the core to work, as well as give you a better starting position to transition into different side plank movements. And our last exercise here in our tricep is a anti-rotation press with arm elevation. Now, as you exhale, push, reach forward, keeping the elbows straight. And as you're still exhaling, the arms are going to go up about 45 degrees. They're going to come back down and finally back in when you take your inhale. So the whole movement happens with that exhale. So really compress and make those exhales last. Do these from a standing athletic position. Do not let the torso move. Keep that rib cage down.
So now that we've started with some isolation work so that we can really feel the abdominals, the obliques working very specifically, or a little more specifically, now we're going to get into some more full body movements that really target the whole midsection of the body.
In our next pair of exercises, we're starting with a woodchopper going upwards. Notice how the feet are pivoting, and that is what's rotating the body. The torso really isn't moving. The arms are creating that up and down motion, but it is the hips and the legs and the feet pivoting that create this rotation. The torso is braced for a punch, and we are learning how to be very athletic with this movement. The second exercise in this pair is our lateral bear crawl with the band resistance. So the band is pulling us sideways the whole time. That way, as we are doing our bear crawl away from the anchor, we have to contract harder and harder. This is how the shoulders and the hips really come into play with the rest of the torso as a real core exercise. Make sure you take small steps the whole time and keep the pelvis facing the floor. Imagine carrying a tray of hot coffee on your back that you don't want to spill on yourself while moving arm and opposite leg together. The frog position with the legs takes the hip flexors out of the equation of the crunch, which are muscles that people tend to use a lot when they try to do crunching or sit up motions. So, this is great to isolate the abs. We're having a lot of tension on the bands, keeping the arms vertical the whole time. That way, when I crunch up, we're pushing and pulling into the bands with those abdominals and not with the arms. It is best to start with too much band tension than too little. Also, hold that top crunch position for a full exhalation. Squeeze every air particle out because that is what's going to cause all your abs to contract maximally.
Now normally I would show something this complicated as this next exercise, but you guys are here for the good stuff, so here it is. I have two bands set up on my anchors. Now this low one can be a little bit higher, that's fine. I usually use this on a cable machine with my clients. So this would be a cable, this would be the band. But we're going to use two bands here. So I'm going to take this band, the arm that's furthest away from the wall, goes inside all the way as far as I can into that outside shoulder. So it drapes through the front, across the front of my torso. The other band, I'm going to be punching with this side, like so. Except, I'm going to have the band underneath my armpit. Alright, I know it's a little complicated for the setup. Now here, I can just hook my thumb and press from there, but if that's too easy, I can always grip closer to the anchor to make it harder. So here, I'm going to face straight away from that wall, from the anchor. My toes are digging into the ground, and as I press, as I punch forward through these exhale, squeeze as far as I can every time. So this time, my left arm is driving back with my shoulders. I'm thinking about stretching the red band as much as possible as I'm reaching forward with my whole body with the black band. Now if I want to make this red band harder, I can scoot forward more, make it easier, scoot back. So that's how you integrate the core, the torso muscles into full body motion. So many people always think, hey, I'm going to work my core, I'm going to isolate it, kind of how we did in the beginning. But what we really want to do is, yes, we want to know how it feels with those isolation exercises and train those weaknesses, but we also want to integrate all that feeling, like, oh, this is what my abs, this is what my obliques feel like, how it feels to rotate well and integrate that into full body motions with more athleticism into them. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, get some comments. If you have any questions, make sure you look up at the past videos on the band-only exercises. And doesn't mean we're not going to be using bands later on. It just means we will be combining them with other implements for our strength training. These three past videos have been resistance bands only, that way you know some special things you can do with them that don't require anything else besides somewhere to anchor them. I will see you on the next one.